10 weeks ago, I posted my very first YouTube video. And as much I wish I could tell you it was easy, the truth is that it took a lot of effort on my part. Not only to sit down and film that first video, but also to keep showing up every week after that. But 10 weeks later, I'm on video number 10, and it won't be my last. So in this video, I want to share my experience and talk about some things I've learned along the way. If you've been wanting to start a YouTube channel or you've been feeling demotivated by the slow growth of your own channel, keep watching. By the way, when I was working on this video, I realized I never properly introduced myself. So hi, I'm Elisa, and on this channel I share my journey of getting out of my comfort zone, starting before I feel ready, and figuring things out along the way, in case it might help you to do the same. But let's get back to the video. I postponed starting for such a long time that when I finally decided to post my first video, I was honestly really scared. I knew it would be hard, and honestly, it was. I struggled setting up the camera and struggled even more talking to it. If you've never done it before, trust me, talking to a camera feels so weird and uncomfortable. Editing was also very demanding because even though I have made a few videos in the past, I had forgotten almost everything and had to keep searching on Google and YouTube for the most basic things. But one of the hardest part for me was actually not chickening out when it came time to post the video. I was so afraid of people in real life finding out and judging me that it took a lot of courage for me to finally publish it. And then when I did, nothing happened. No one found out and it got almost no views, which is what I expected, but it was also a bit humbling. And that's when I realized something. If I wanted to keep doing this, it will take a lot of self-control to keep showing up every week. The motivation from finally starting something I have been dreaming about wouldn't be enough. If I really wanted this, I needed to build a habit and not allow myself to give up. I've always been a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to create things that people might see. And that's actually been a big problem for me because I tend to give up very easily once I realize something won't meet my standards. But I had been thinking about this for so long that I didn't want to let myself give up again. So I knew I had to build a habit, something I could realistically show up for. That's when I decided I will be creating one video each week. But to make that happen, I had to lower the bar a lot. I focused on simply creating something, even if it wasn't perfect, even if it was just a couple of minutes long, even if my hair was messy and I had more important things to do. I shifted my mindset to make consistency the priority, even if that meant letting go of quality for now. And honestly, it worked, because I'm still here. So if you're starting out, my advice is to make your goal ridiculously. How the hell do you say that word? Ridiculously. So if you're starting out, my advice is to make your goal ridiculously easy to achieve. Ridiculously. I can't pronounce that word. So if you're starting out, my advice is to make your goal ridiculously easy to achieve and focus on building the habit of showing up. Now let's talk about the fear of being seen, because that was a big one for me at the beginning, and in a way it still is. Being a YouTuber isn't really normalized here where I live. It's still very much associated with being an influencer, and a lot of people have trouble seeing it as something different. So I was really afraid of people in my real life finding out, judging me, making comments, talking behind my back. And yes, I know I shouldn't care about what other people think, but here I am. But like I said before, no one has found my channel yet. Not many people online, and definitely no one in real life. And honestly, that's been a relief. It made me feel safe enough to keep creating. And I don't know how I'll feel in the future when someone eventually finds it, but I trust it will happen at the right time. So if this is something that is stopping you, just know that you can actually start quietly. No one has to know right away. That said, I think it helps to have one person who knows. A few days after posting my first video, when I realized that consistency will be harder than I expected, I told my husband about my channel. And he's the only person in my life who knows about it right now. And I'm still so self-conscious about all of this that I actually asked him not to watch my videos. But every week he asks me if I film, and that alone makes me accountable. It's such a small thing, but it makes a big difference. So I really recommend finding one person you trust, your partner, a friend, a family member, who can check in on you and help you stay consistent. Another big step for me, especially as someone who tends to overthink, was accepting that I could only improve by doing, not by preparing to do, but by actually doing. Let that sink in for a moment. Because if you're watching this, chances are you already consumed a lot of content about starting a YouTube channel. And I definitely did for years, and I keep enjoying watching those videos. I find them comforting. But now that I've actually started, they feel different than before. So just remember this. You don't have to know everything before starting. Start first and figure things out along the way. For me, that meant slowly improving my editing workflow, learning a bit about color grading, and just getting a bit faster overall. And I still have so much more to learn, but I trust that I will get there with time. One of the biggest challenges, and something you definitely cannot learn just by watching tutorials, is talking to the camera. Oh my, the awkwardness I felt on the first video and on the second one and the third, and even now this doesn't feel completely natural, but I do feel more relaxed. And I cringe a lot less when I watch myself back while editing. I don't know if I will ever feel completely at ease, but it does get better. You just need to keep doing it, because confidence comes after repetition. A lot of repetition. Last but not least, don't forget that your brain is a very powerful thing and that your mindset matters a lot, especially when nothing seems to be happening. If you only focus on what's missing or what's not going as planned, you'll feel stuck very quickly. But if you choose to focus on the small wins, even when growth feels slow and frustrating, you'll keep your motivation alive. Be happy about that one extra subscriber. Be proud of yourself for showing up on a day you didn't really feel like it, because those small things matter more than you think. So after 10 weeks, I can say I'm really proud of myself for showing up consistently. But as my main goal was to, mainly not give up right away, but also starting to feel more comfortable being on camera, I feel ready to experiment a bit more. I'd like to move beyond just talking head videos. And with the weather getting a bit warmer finally, I'd love to start filming outside, which honestly feels a bit scary, but also exciting. I'd also like to explore storytelling more, because that's something I've always been drawn to. And I also have this idea about creating a vlogging series called Inside My Mess, because honestly that describes my life and my scattered mind pretty well. And I still need to figure out exactly what that will look like, but that's part of the fun, right? I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe it gave you the little push you needed to finally start your own YouTube channel or any other project you've been thinking about. Just remember, you don't need to have it all figured out. I didn't and I still don't. Just start. You won't regret it. Alright, that's all for this week. And if you decide to stick around and follow the journey, that will make me so happy. I hope I'll see you on the next one. Bye.